As a Columbian native with a long life love of sports, James Harold Easterby III could be found volunteering at various churches in Columbia to pursue his dream to develop a gospel-based basketball program. And whereas on January 1st, 1994, Jimmy Easterby was called to the staff of First Presbyterian Church of Columbia in a part-time position as his coordinator of sports ministries. And whereas when Jimmy began this work, First Presbyterian Church had no gym. This building was built in 1998. We had no budget, no supplies, no coaches, no players, but he forged ahead with a startup league out of the back of his VW, cajoling the Carolina Children's Home to use its gym. And whereas Jimmy labored tirelessly to call on other churches to participate, and in 1997, he formally established the Christian Youth Basketball League and nurtured its growth into a league with boys and girls teams from some 30 churches in the Midlands. And whereas over a span of nearly 30 years, Jimmy has shared Jesus and the truth of God's Word in pre-game devotionals with probably thousands of children and their parents, grandparents, referees, coaches, and volunteers, all who were present to hear them as well. And with a growing sports ministry, First Presbyterian Church established a full-time position of Director of Recreational Ministries. And Jimmy continued to develop this ministry as he worked with Jim Turner and Eric Winger. And whereas Jimmy was instrumental in coordinating the league's annual basketball banquets, conducting summer basketball clinics, and developing the church's semi-annual golf tournaments, a basketball league for children with disabilities, yoga and fitness classes, tennis clinics, youth soccer clinics for boys and girls, volleyball and handball programs, and many other sports-based activities for the church. And whereas all of these programs were started as a continuing Christian outreach through sports for the First Presbyterian Church members and non-members alike, in an effort to provide a way to gather, minister, and help people and point them to Christ. And whereas Jimmy's wife, Betsy, has been woven into the fabric of this ministry at Jimmy's side, and she has been a constant source of support and encouragement to him in his life's work. And whereas Jimmy is passing the primary duties of the church's sports ministry mantle to the able hands of Joseph Yee, but we know that we will continue to see Jimmy walking the sidelines of the basketball court and participating in many of the activities of this special ministry that is now flourishing from the decades of his care and service. Now, therefore, in recognition of his vision, leadership, and service to the sports ministry of the First Presbyterian Church of Columbia, South Carolina, its elders desire to express their heartfelt appreciation to Jimmy Easterby and his wife, Betsy, for their dedication and commitment to building a gospel foundation as the bedrock of our sports ministry to both this church and the community alike. Be it now resolved that the session of the First Presbyterian Church of Columbia, South Carolina, in meeting duly assembled this 24th day of January 2022, does hereby recognize James Harold Easterby III for his decades of sports-focused gospel ministry, and his grateful officers, on behalf of a grateful congregation, express their heartfelt appreciation for his tireless, faithful, and dedicated service and commitment to the sports ministry of the First Presbyterian Church, all to the glory of God. Be it further resolved that this resolution be entered by the clerk into the minutes of the session, and a copy of the resolution provided to Mr. Easterby and his family. It's my honor to pass a copy of these resolutions to you at this time and just express the love of so many people in this room and throughout the congregation for everything you have done for decades for this ministry. Thank you on behalf of
section for you. There's so many people in this room that participate in the sports program. It takes so many people to be able to do it God's way. And when we first started, that was the biggest challenge. And it's Jesus who met that challenge, because there were so many people. I look out and see so many of you who have coached, who have kept score, have done so many things that it took to make this happen. And that's the beauty of so many different pieces of our congregation. And sports just happens to be one of them. And so I'm eternally grateful for all of you. I've known some of you since I was very little. And I was watching a lot of y'all and how you did things. So that impressed me and helped me to see the path that I needed to take. And so I really want to use this to thank all of you for being so committed to seeing the ministry as a way to reach other people for Christ, because that's the only reason we really do this. It's a chance for all the people that come in here in the mornings to come to basketball games. So many of them don't know who Jesus is, and that's what we want to keep being able to speak of the gospel every time they walk in here, and to feel that oneness there that Jesus can provide. So I want to emphasize I'm not going anywhere. I certainly appreciate this. Is very, very special. Joseph and I are already working together. We've already shared the messages that come from the fruit of the Spirit. We're sharing that each game that's played, and we'll continue to do that. And I know with your support that will continue on. And my wife has just been there the whole time. She's had to do that a lot. Anyway, it's all based on the love of Jesus, and I know that some of you share that love of Jesus, so let's just keep it going.